Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth and this is the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. We're weekly or semi-weekly or maybe once in a while. We come to you to discuss University of New Mexico athletics, UNM financial stuff, state stuff, and the impact of name, image, and likeness on college athletics today. I want to tell people we're in an interesting period at UNM where we're looking for another athletic director, and we're going to have more on that and what's going on with that next week. But we have a real special guest who you see if you're at the games, but a real behind-the-scenes magician, actually, I would call him. And we'll get to that in a minute. Another thing I want to talk about before we start is obviously 505 SVF is still going on, and we are working now under the new revenue sharing situation under the House settlement. We are really doing NIL work. We are promoting the student athletes in the community. We are trying to hook them up in the public. So it's 505sports.org. Check out the website. You can still donate. We need your help. And if you have any ideas about how to get the student athletes integrated in the public, call us. One other thing I want to talk about is local journalism. This is today's Albuquerque Journal Sports page. It's got great articles. It's got Rick Wright. It's got Jeff Grammer. It's got Sean Reeder and what's going on with the football portal. It's essential if you're following Lobo sports. Local journalism is important not only for sports, but for politics and local news. I can't emphasize enough how you have to subscribe to the Journal if you're a follower of Lobo Athletics. So it's avqjournal.com. Check it out. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with our special guest right after this.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of ProView Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Program. We have so little time and so much to talk about with our special guest. I want to introduce him right away. A lot of people seen him around, don't know who he is. Steve Kirkland. How you doing, Steve?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Kurt.
Great to have you. Steve is the SID guy for Lobo basketball. What else?
Men's golf and women's golf.
Men's golf and golf. He's the basketball and golf guy. And I was told by one of my supporters that I was not allowed to talk to Steve about the National Hockey League. He's one of the biggest fans in the world. I'm not going to talk about it. Go Rangers next year. Wait till next year. So Steve, SID, what does that mean?
Sports Information Director.
So what do you do?
So I am basically the communications spokesperson for the basketball teams and the golf teams. So if a media member wants to interview coach or players, they coordinate through me. I'm the one that writes all the press releases you see on the website. I, along with our social and creative team, do a lot of everything that's on the social media channels. Work with kind of archiving, keeping stats, things like that, writing bios. Basically, any information about our programs, I'm the one kind of putting it together.
Okay, so it never ends, especially during basketball season.
Yeah, basketball season's pretty busy.
Well, right now but if you're doing golf too, right?
Yeah, so a little bit different between basketball. I travel every game. Golf is usually not until postseason that I'll travel. So at this point of the year when they're on the road, I'm just kind of following them from wherever I am, whether it's here or if I'm on the road with basketball.
So you don't go on like Hawaii if they're playing?
Yeah, the men's team's in Hawaii next week, and I unfortunately will not be making that trip.
You'll be in Phoenix at
GCU, yes.
GCU,
yeah.
Right, which is nowhere near Grand Canyon. Same state, right?
Same state, yeah.
Okay, so people like me who are around the program know what all that means. But for instance, when the casual fan watches a game, or today reads a recap, emptying the notebook, or Rick Wright, game day, shoot around, game, post game, what's your role?
Yeah, so a lot of it is just working with the media, working with the broadcast partners, whether that's CBS or Fox, working with our media that covers us, whether it's Jeff Grammer, Will Weber, the local TV stations, and providing them information, answering them questions, giving them up-to-date information. So a lot of times, a lot of my time is putting together game notes. That's a packet of information that I give to all the media. So when you're watching a game on TV and you see, a stat like one that we've used a lot this year is we're the only team in the nation with 3 freshmen averaging double figures. The Fox broadcast team, the CBS broadcast team, they're doing, 3-4 games a week with 6-8 different teams. They don't know every little detail. They depend on people like me to put together the notes package, and they're just reading off of what we're giving them in terms of what are the highlights about our program, about our coaches, about our players that they can use in the broadcast. So a lot of the things that you see on the broadcast, especially like the graphics that they put up, as guys are shooting foul shots, they have interesting stats, that's stuff that sports information directors put together. So,
okay, that's game day. I see you talking to the announcers out in the shoot around.
Yes.
Post game, what happens?
Post game, it's not only writing the recap that you see on our website, but it's making sure coach gets to, if we win, usually TV wants to do an interview with coach or a player right after the game on the court, getting them there, getting coach to his post-game press conference, getting him to our radio crew, getting a player to the radio crew. It's a lot of just coordinating all the post-game interviews.
Well, and then you just mentioned you do the recap. That's up, like, when we charter, it's kind of like up when we're on the plane already, No?
Yeah, when we're on the road, like, I usually can get it up before we leave. So there's been some times where I'm on my phone on my laptop as we're pulling into the airport, and I'm hitting submit on our website, just as we're getting set to board the plane.
Well, but then that's a real journalistic role, don't you? You can't just wait till the end of the game to put that together, don't you? Is it piecemeal and then?
Yeah. So. My recap kind of has a formulaic thing, and part of it is just the, kind of the almost kind of play-by-play of, highlights of the game, and I'm writing that as the game goes along.
Okay.
And then
you have to craft the ending
depending
on what happens.
Yeah, and then just writing the intro, adding a quote from coach. As stats happen, I have some notes in that as well, that as things happen, I'll be able to highlight and write as the game goes along.
Okay. Pennsylvania guy?
Yep, grew up in Pennsylvania.
Okay, and prior, I want to talk about in the next segment about how you got into this.
Yeah.
But prior to New Mexico, you had 2 ACC jobs.
Yeah, I was
on the East Coast.
Yeah, I was at before New Mexico. I was at Wake Forest for 5 years. Prior to that, I was at the University of Virginia for 13 years.
Okay, so you basically come across country to a whole different level of athletics in Albuquerque. Almost 20 years in the business.
Yeah.
How'd you wind up here?
It was a great opportunity to go with to work with a basketball program that is such high profile in the local area. When I was at Wake Forest, that really wasn't the case. We were overshadowed by the pro sports in the state of North Carolina, but also the three behemoths that were 90 minutes down the road from us.
Right.
And it's really a lot of fun to be at a program that is really the biggest sports entity in the state.
Right. Well, we're going to take a break in a few seconds, but what Steve's talking about is exactly what we've been talking about at 505, how important UNM athletics is to the state, and in our case, how economically important it can be to the state economy and the economy of Albuquerque. Anyway, a lot more to talk about with Steve Curtin. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Segment number 2 of today's 505 SVF show. We're right in studio here, high above Central Avenue. I also forgot to give props to my producer, Adrian, from the City of Angels that makes this happen. You know, he's an LA guy. We got to the studio, it was about 45 degrees. He looked like he was coming in out of the Arctic with his hat and his winter jacket. And then Steve Davis up the stairs in the big chair, who gives us this opportunity to come to you every week. Anyway, all right, we're back with Steve K, SID. And in my opinion, I'll tell you, I've worked with a lot of guys around New Mexico and other places. Steve is arguably the number one SID guy in college basketball today. Okay, so you got to UNM. Was there, forget Albuquerque for a minute, we may get to that, but what was the biggest difference in, the day-to-day here versus, say, Wake or Virginia? Was there a big difference? Or
There really wasn't that big of a difference, just because all three, were high-level basketball programs. Here, the local interest, being in a city where there's not much other competition in terms of attention sports-wise, there's a whole lot more, local attention here than there was in those places. Probably a little bit more national attention with programs in the ACC, but for me, it really wasn't that different in terms of the media exposure.
All right, so we'll jump ahead where I was going to wait. Biggest difference between East Coast and Albuquerque?
Oh,
newcomer.
Weather.
Weather.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a positive.
Yeah, it was actually a real positive in terms of just the, not having the humidity and so on. And I don't know what the difference is in the pollen, but I had to stop. I don't have to take Claritin anymore out here every day, compared to living in the, where in North Carolina or Virginia where there's just pollen everywhere.
So great. Okay. So I got to ask, red or green?
Probably green.
Okay, probably.
Yeah.
Also, okay. Well, no, we'll get to the shake thing later. You were a Penn State grad.
Penn State grad.
All right. How the heck did you decide of all the you did this? You were into communications in college.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I actually got my start when I was in high school.
Okay.
So I grew up in a small little town, Pennsylvania, Shippensburg, Division II school there. My dad was a professor there. And my dad was like, there's got to be a way for my son who loves sports, loves stats, loves numbers, loves journalism to find a career in that. So he went to the sports information director, John Alosi, who was a long time at Shippensburg, and asked, like, I think my son might want to get into this. Is there anything he can do? And John was like, it's me and a grad assistant covering 20 sports, whatever he wants to do. So my junior and senior year in high school, I was like doing stat crew, inputting in stat crew for Division II football and basketball, and loved it. I'm like, this is what I want to do. Started when I did college tours, you do the college tour, but I would meet with the SID office and like, what do you have your student interns do? Because most schools have student interns to help out. And, Penn State was the perfect fit. It was 2 hours away. It was big time athletics.
Huge athletics.
Yes. And so it was incredible to being able to go and, get my start, kind of there. And it really set me up for where I am today.
Well, you graduated, and what happened then?
So graduated and got my first full-time job as a intern, basically making barely enough to survive, but at Vanderbilt for a year.
Vanderbilt, okay.
For 1 year. And
how'd you get that?
Just applied and got hired as an intern. And then after your 1 year internship, then you have to kind of find a real full-time job, and ended up applying and getting a job at Virginia, and started off kind of low and worked my way up through 13 years at Virginia. And then had a great opportunity. When I left, I was the secondary basketball person because we had two people that work with basketball at Virginia. From there, opportunity to become the primary at Wake Forest, moved there for 5 years. And then there was a little bit of a shakeup in terms of the administration, things like that. It happened over COVID too. So I was kind of out for a year, but was looking for the right opportunity to get back in. And it was a great fit to end up here at New Mexico.
Amazing fit, as it turns out. Who would know? The public is not concerned with who the SID is until you get the job. Yeah. And then when they're not happy, no good deed goes unpunished at your job. Okay, so you wind up in Albuquerque, but still, even though you said the transition wasn't much, like you said, there were two. You were like a number 2 guy in basketball. Isn't like the ACC? Aren't just the staffs bigger?
The staffs
There's people everywhere.
Yeah. So when I was at Virginia, we had a staff of 8. So, but we also had like 25 sports. So it was a bit bigger sports, but we had a much bigger staff. When I was at Wake Forest, because it's the smallest enrollment power conference school, we only had 5. And because we only had 16 sports. Okay. So it was, it was very similar to here, in terms of, kind of the staff.
All right. We've got like a minute to this segment. Virginia, Wake Forest, what basketball coaches were you there with?
So I started with Dave Lato when I started doing basketball. So 2 years with Dave Lato. Then I had the first 6 Tony Bennett years at Virginia. And then my 5 years at Wake Forest was with Danny Manning.
Danny Manning.
Yes.
Okay, so you had 3 distinct characters there.
Yes,
Lato,
definitely. Yeah.
If you don't know basketball, trust me, those are 3 different guys.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Oh, it's hard. Tony Bennett, just such a fine person, down to earth for being a guy that ended up winning a national title after I left, And then Danny Manning, legendary player, but was, just such a good person, treated me great, and was really fun to work with.
Okay. Fair answer. I will chime in. I think that my good buddy Dave Lato's out of his mind. And on that note, we will take a short break. We'll come back to talk a little bit about what's going on here in Albuquerque with our team. Stay with us with our men's basketball team. Big game Saturday. Go buy your tickets. We'll be back right after this short break.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
All right, everybody. This is our last segment of today's show, 505 SVF program. We're here with Lobo, SID, Steve Kirtland, and we need 3 more segments to finish this interview, so we're going to have to ask you to come back. Okay, so you're in New Mexico, but now we were talking about it off camera, counting the interims in your 5th year.
Yeah.
Ryan Berryman is your 4th athletic director.
Yes.
And clearly, from my perspective, with the media, there was a definitive, noticeable change when Fernando Lobo came in.
Mm-hmm.
How does that affect you?
It's for us. It's more just kind of making sure that whoever's now the new AD, or especially like a case with Fern coming in, where he really didn't know any of our local media. It's helping him kind of establish those relationships with people like Jeff, people like Sean, people at the TV stations, things like that, because they're going to be the way that our fan base kind of gets to hear the message a lot of times. You know, we can push out as much as we can on our social channels, our website, things like that. But for a lot of fans, especially casual fans, what they see on the local news, what they read in the journal is where they get their information about the program. And it's really important for us to have a good relationship between the media and our athletic director.
Okay, there you go. So Steve just mentioned 2 sources. The basically social media, golobos.com, incredible work's being done there now. He does some of it. Casey, all those guys are Chase. They've been unbelievable. And the Journal, subscribe to the Journal. It's really a great value. Okay, so what's the difference now? And I'll be blunt. People know I don't pull punches. Name, image, and likeness, basically, especially at college basketball level, the guys are pros. They're pro athletes. Yeah. They're getting paid. They have contracts. Yeah. They have agents. Yeah. How does that change your role?
It's definitely changed it, because a lot of it is we're helping them build their individual brands.
Great point.
Yeah. And it's you know, we in the past we've always done like social media training with them, with the players, and in the past, it was always just, hey, make sure you don't do anything stupid that will embarrass you and embarrass the team. But now it's helping them with tips to help them monetize their own brand through their social media, because that's a great opportunity for them in terms of, you see so many, student athletes out there, pushing out, ad content on their social channels as a way to make, endorsement dollars.
Right. So that changes the whole deal. Do you find that there's, and you hit on something really interesting. It was like, you might get a post-game or pre-game interview.
Yeah.
Don't be a whatever. Don't
Yeah.
screw it up.
Yeah.
Now they have, they have to be more, in fact, articulate or sell their message a little better. But they also have agents. I mean, do you ever get someone telling you don't talk to the kid unless you talk to me? Has that happened?
No, that doesn't happen. They're pretty good about knowing, in season, we have the same goal, which is to promote and push the most information about these players and to really kind of put them in the most positive light. So they're fine with us. It's more just when we hear from the agents, it's more if they're looking for, hey, can I get some photos or things like that that they can use for their stuff that they're doing with their players.
Okay, all right. You've done this now, big college level. This is year 18. Is that what
No, we're closing in like 25.
Okay, overall, right.
Overall,
right.
yeah.
Okay, overall.
Yeah. But basketball, 18, yeah.
Okay, 18 years of basketball. Do you have a favorite player from both the playing side and the interaction side?
It might be the same, which was when I was at Virginia with Malcolm Brogdon. Like a kid who was that sharp, turned down Harvard to go play at Virginia, and then went on to have a really good NBA career, but was consummate pro in terms of anytime we threw him in front of a camera, handled it well. And I've been lucky. I've gotten to work with a lot of really high end athletes. Few of when I worked at Virginia, worked with women's soccer my whole time, and a few of them, Becky Sauerbrunn, Morgan Bryan, went on to play World Cups for the U.S. I had men's golf at Wake Forest, and guys like Will Zalatoris, Cam Young, are on the PGA Tour now. Worked with them. John Collins, who's in the NBA at Wake. A bunch of Joe Harris, Malcolm Brogdon, players like that at Virginia. I've been really lucky to be able to see a lot of the players I work go on to have a lot of fame and success professionally.
Great. I find this Lobo team to have a bunch of really kind of good guys.
Yeah, and that makes it really easy. Like, there's not a player on our team that I'm worried about if we have them, do a post-game press conference or do an interview that I'm concerned that they're going to say something that they shouldn't. Like, they're all very conscientious. They're all very smart in terms of how they phrase answers, how they handle tough questions that puts themselves and our program in the best light.
Okay, and you've pounded knuckles with JT Rock probably 1,000 times already this year.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all time. All right, we're in our final minute, and I said we need 2 more segments. I want to talk about the NHL. We might have to have a special program. Lobo fans want to know, when the home winning streak went down the drain in kind of embarrassing or emphatic manner.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about where they are and what happens Saturday night against Boise State?
No, I think we're, part of the problem with the long winning streak is it starts to put a little pressure on you. And so I think it's a great opportunity to refocus. And, I know our team and our coaches are, getting the prep ready for Boise on Saturday night, and they'll be ready.
Steve, thanks.
Yeah.
I want to thank you. You got to come back. He said it. Saturday night, 8 p.m. There's tickets left. What are you guys going to do Saturday night, Lobo fans? Go to the game. Join us. It'll be a blast. We're going to smoke Boise on our way to Grand Canyon on Wednesday. I want to thank everybody. Thank our sponsors, Adrian. We'll see you next week. Kurt Roth, 505 SVF. Thank you.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like this, shorty, you got my attention.